I'd love to share with you all the most embarrassing thing I've ever done at work.
Yes.
And this is something that I've been meaning to make a TikTok on for the last couple of years. No shit. But every time I start doing it, I start laughing. And I laugh too hard, and I just can't, you know what I mean? And then it's like, I'll get to it. Man, 2.5 years later, I've yet to do it. But I was on a business trip with my boss. And it was one where we took the company car, which is rare, right? Because typically, especially being in Texas, like I have to fly everywhere, right? It's a big ass place.
What's the company car? Like what kind of car?
Big truck.
Oh, okay.
Like huge truck, like extended cab, double whatever. Spoken like a true Texan. I can't even describe a truck.
I was envisioning like a limo. So okay.
But now I'm like massive truck. And because my boss, he was such a prima donna, I had to drive, of course, you know. Which is fine.
Mr. Daisy.
Yeah, driving Mr. Daisy, which is fine, high maintenance. Anyways, we were, headed back after our trip, and we decided, of course, to drop the truck off so we can get our vehicles, go home, whatever. And I said, gosh, but the truck is so dirty, right? Like I always want to return things better than I got them, right? And, driving in the middle of nowhere, it's like all flies. It's nasty, right? So just the whole truck, the windshield just covered in bugs. And so I said, hey, let's just run through the car wash here before we drop the truck off. And he's like, oh, great idea. And he's like, go ahead and fill it up too. Oh, okay. Thanks, bitch. So like I get up, I fill up the truck, and then, I have to wash it. Basically, I can't believe he didn't make me do it by hand. But
Cinderella.
Yeah, exactly. But I take it, through the car wash. And we get in the car wash. Again, it's my boss and myself. And I pull into the car wash, and I love those lights. You feel like a NASCAR driver. Love that shit. But anyway, that's a random aside that has nothing to do with the story. But there was a bug. There was a bug on the steering wheel, and I freaked out. And I rolled the window down.
In the middle of the car wash.
In the car wash, right as it was starting. And I didn't make that connection. I was just freaking out about the bug, right? And so I rolled the window down, and God, again, my boss is here watching all this shit, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, trying to get this bug out. And the window, they're slow. Right. And so, I get the bug out. But when I get the bug out, that's when all that rainbow Lucky Charms looking soap comes into
very satisfying.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous. Right. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, except when it's on you. And so at that same time, I'm trying to roll the window up, which is just the button, and it's all slow coming up. All the liquid Lucky Charms are coming into the truck, and I'm covered now like a rainbow. I'm Roger Jabibbin, and just my whole body is covered in soap, right? And I mean, my face, everything like this. And did you think that soap was hot? You made the assumption it was hot, right? Maybe. I don't know. I always thought it was hot. It is cold as shit.
Whoa.
It's
really?
Arctic cold. And so I'm covered in this RGBiv, these liquid Lucky Charms. It's beautiful. It's cold as shit, though. I'm shivering. I'm cutting glass. Gone, of course. And I turn and I look, and my boss is up against the door, plastered up against the door. And he's looking at me like, you are the stupidest fucking person that I've ever seen in my life. And, I turn, we're looking at each other. I turn slowly, and he goes, what the fuck? And I said this, I'm covered, I'm dripping in soap, and I'm freezing. I'm already shivering. And I go, there was a bug.
He's like, I know.
There was a bug, you know what I mean? Because he just sees this. He didn't even see the bug. He just thinks literally I'm just starting to go into some sort of shock or something.
God.
And I roll the window down. So then I'm covered. I'm freezing. My hair's dripping wet. I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, that's a lot of soap, right?
Yeah.
It's to cover a car, right? I'm just a person, So I'm covered in this. I'm shivering. Of course, I still have to drive. And I'm driving back to the workplace or whatever. And he's still up against the car door. He's just looking at me like this. No, he's like, why the hell did I even hire you? I mean, really, that's the vibe, right? Now, of course, he loved me. I was so entertaining. But obviously, you know. So then we get back to the office. We exchange cards. I come back into the workplace and people start calling me Soapy. So that's how I got the nickname Soapy at work.
Okay, that's your nickname.
So that bitch told everybody.
Of course. What do you think it's going to keep it a secret? Yeah, well, I don't blame him on that part.
Yeah, it's a funny story.
I wouldn't keep that to myself. I would have taken a picture or a video, though. That would have been my difference.
I know. I was like, I wish that there was a photo.
Don't wipe it off yet. Just now, when you were driving, because did you have a towel? I assume you didn't have a towel in the company.
I didn't have shit.
You shouldn't have a towel in your company car. That's suspicious.
I guess.
But did you it's not like a cartoon where when you're dirty, they wipe it, it's gone. Like it's still on you as you're driving, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I was covered in liquid Lucky Charms.
Oh, yeah, good question.
Yeah, I mean, it was soap, right? I mean,
you're clean.
I was kind of sticky. And I, no kidding, I thought that would be hot, right? Because I don't know about y'all, but I love the soap.
Oh, the soap, yeah.
I thought the soap, would be hot, right? Kind of you're in the bath, you know what I mean? That shit is freezing.
Wow.
It is freezing.
I can't wait to tell my kids
it was probably 33 degrees. Ugh. I mean, it was free. No, and obviously that's an exaggeration. You know, I get cold real easy, but I mean, it was freezing. And I mean, no kidding, lines of the rainbow.
Great. Embarrassing story.
Yeah. That was a good one, but that's how I got the nickname Soapy at work.
Would you have kept, if that happened to someone, would you have kept that a secret?
No, I would have told everybody and I would have made a TikTok about it.
Yeah, it's right.
I wouldn't have named them, So that's why I still owe the world a TikTok on that one.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah, but boy, that was embarrassing as hell.
And recreate that one sometimes.
It wasn't that long ago. I'm a grown person. Right?
Not a child.
Yeah, I've got a couple grad degrees and shit. You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter.
I've been an exec since my 20s. I mean, so it's
there was a bug.
But there was a bug, and that's one of those kryptonite things.
Yeah, that is will stick with you forever.
And I think it was a stink bug. And I don't have time for that shit. No. Which obviously got into the car when I was pumping gas. You know what I mean? And he could have swatted that out there.
Yeah.
But no, he couldn't have.
Tonight we're focusing in on Zoom with Galaxy AI on the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Ah, a baby tiger. Check out his claws as he prepares to pounce on that frog. Close one, but not as close as this Zoom. We can literally count the whiskers and... Oh, look, Mum's here. Good thing I'm nowhere nearby. Go wild with Galaxy AI on the new S24 Ultra and zoom in on the epic day or night.
Get yours now at Samsung.com.
This episode is brought to you by Bumble. So, you want to find someone you're compatible with, specifically someone who's ready for a serious connection, totally open to having kids in the future, is a tall, rock-climbing Libra, and loves rom-coms with vegan pizzas on Tuesdays just as much as you do. Bumble knows that you know exactly what's right for you. So whatever it is you're looking for, Bumble's features can help you find it. Date now on Bumble.
So transitioning in, thank you so much for joining us for our staff meeting today. It's going to be a riveting one. Let's jump into the agenda. And so we will kick off this meeting with our Cringe corporate speak, and that is going to be brought to us by Ashley today. Thank you, Ashley, in advance. And then we're going to deep dive into the hot topic of gossip in the workplace. Oh my gosh. That's a thing, isn't it? Boy, is that a thing.
Unfortunately.
Hashtag
job security.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot in that space, I think. And so we're going to deep dive on that. And then, of course, because we do have a hard stop, it's Jamie's hard stop. She's got to go get Taco Bell. But Jamie's got a hard stop. But before we do that hard stop, we, of course, are going to save time for questions and comments as always. And so, Ashley, would you like to kick us off with the Cringe corporate speak?
I would. And my Cringe corporate speak is executive presence.
No.
What that tends to mean is when people are talking about someone in a promotion or, there's this person and they have a great executive presence. And what that can mean is probably Leigh, a little bit maybe taller. So I don't have that. maybe a bit of a deeper voice, but like a level of
gorgeous,
confidence. Gorgeous. Sorry. Rainbow colored. Sophie.
I definitely
diverse.
do not have an executive presence.
But it can be someone, that's a good public speaker or convincing when they speak. And it's a lot about that, their style and their window dressing. Another word you hear sometimes is gravitas. Like, they have this, that people believe, what they say. And so you coach people like, to move up, you need to have executive presence. And what I would say is if people, no matter what you're doing, wherever you want to be on the organizational ladder, it is good to have communication skills and a thought process and, be able to add value. But this thing of executive presence and gravitas, the problem that I have with it is that it does tend to skew male. And it tends to favor some really superficial characteristics that can mask actual substance underneath, and it can make it hard for introverts or people that have really strong skill sets from feeling like, well, I can't get up and be commanding like this person, so, well, my future's, effed here. So, thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I had a leader use executive presence once, and I called them on it because I knew that, quite frankly, they were racist. You know what I mean? After working with them for a while and things that they had shared with me. And they said, well, I just love that guy's executive presence. And I said, oh, is that because they look just like you? Yeah, he didn't like that. You know what I mean? But it was true.
Yeah.
And we know that like hires like, right? But he was kind of like, of course, here you go again, but there's a lot of that in that as well. So it's kind of anyone who doesn't fit the social mores or the stereotypes of a leader, they don't have executive presence, right? Yeah. And the person that's typically saying that is someone that, of course, has this vision, like we all do. We all have biases, right? But they have this vision in their head from all of their experiences and background of what a leader should look like and be like, and they try to fit it in that box. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, well, they don't have the executive presence. Well, sometimes what they're saying is, well, I've never seen a leader that looks like them.
Exactly. Like, what does that even mean to you?
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to work. Yeah. It's like, wait, what? So that's how I've seen that unfortunately play out in the workplace when, people use that term executive presence. It's not always for good.
No.
I definitely have more of a clownal presence.
Clownal?
Like I'm a class clown,
Oh.
Kind of like
That's
the clown in the workplace. Yeah,
like
I just made it up.
I love it, actually.
100% a personality.
But you have a really, really incredibly strong skill set as well. That is a benefit.
I know.
Well,
really.
Well, that's cool then. I'm sure no one knows that though.
They'll tell you. But Jamie gets
the circus.
Jamie gets jobs because people she's worked with are like, "Come with me, come with me. I need you,
and you'll see."
Really long.
Yeah. But I like that. So there's executive presence now and clownal presence.
I just made that up. So.
Yeah, I love that actually.
Hashtag.
That's a TikTok.
But I get it is like I think there's a lot of stereotypes that people need to get in front of this stuffy boardroom and have these, this puff that just. But I think when the way people talk and the more real talk, it's the same behind all this corporate cringe. Double click, like this tech focused, like tech stack. Like what tech stack do you what fucking software do you what software makes your job easier? Oh, what tech stack are you like? People do it to try to sound like you're like, add a couple zeros behind your worth or your company name. But when you have people that just shoot at you straight and they're not using the big words and they're not, they're humble and they have a real touch with people. I'd rather hear from people like that all of the time. And I think one of the gaps is that people don't get opportunities. They're expected at some point when you rise to like start doing presentations, and it's really hard to do that. And so valuing more real talk and people's personalities rather than stuffing them into this mold is I think is more 2024.
Yeah. No, that's totally out. I mean, I just hate how it becomes so homogenous. Right. We've seen that in our boards, some of our boards and, our C-suite leaders, it's just groupthink.
Yeah.
It's just cookie cutter.
Yeah. And like, even when you just say executive presence, it just gives me like good old boy vibes. And that's literally what my head goes to.
Yeah. All right.
Ugh.
That's it. Let's not say that.
I know. What could we say? Clownal presence.
I'm going to change my LinkedIn
Clown presence.
Clown presence.
Chief clown officer.
Yeah.
Oh, chief clown officer.
Well, I am chief meme officer.
I know.
That's your job. We know. We see you at the top of the org chart. You are our
You're our
CMO.
C-suite.
CMO.
CMO. I love it.
In the spirit of self-care, today's sponsor, OneSkin, is here to help you simplify your skincare regimen. Founded by 4 PhDs dedicated to skin longevity, OneSkin proves you don't need a complicated routine to achieve better skin. Their topical supplements make it easy to help your skin stay younger and healthier without all the extra steps. The secret? OneSkin's proprietary OS1 peptide. It's the first ingredient scientifically proven to reduce the buildup of senescent cells. Those are the notorious zombie cells that contribute to skin's aging. Fewer zombie cells mean healthier, younger-looking skin with fewer lines and wrinkles, reduced age spot, and a strong natural barrier, something that's specifically important this time of year. Your skin does so much for you. Return the favor with OneSkin. For a limited time, our listeners will get an exclusive 15% off their first OneSkin purchase using the code HRBesties when you check out at oneskin.co. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. In a third-party 12-week clinical study performed by a third-party research organization, OS1 Face was clinically proven to strengthen the skin barrier, improve skin health markers, and diminish visible signs of aging. Wrinkles were diminished in 87% of users. I cannot wait to get OneSkin. OneSkin is more than skincare. It's about skin longevity, targeting the root causes of aging to help you look and feel your best at every age. Get started today with 15% off using code HRBesties at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with HRBesties. After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about us, so please support our show and tell them that HR Bestie sent you. It's time to expect more from your skin routine. Invest in the health of your skin with OneSkin.
Well, now let's take a deep dive into all things gossip in the workplace. I know it never happens, right? I know this is a weird topic for us to even discuss because it's so uncommon. But gossip in the workplace, right? I know, like all the collective sighs here on this one. What do we think? Is it a thing? Is it a problem?
You know, it's unfortunate, to be honest, because I feel like sometimes it's high school all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really disappointing because if you know anything about me, I am very inclusive. I genuinely like everyone usually. And it always just hurts when I hear that there's gossip. Not about me. I'm not worried about me. I'm talking about like just within my place of business. And it bothers me because, and I said this on season 1, but you know what? We're all there to do a job. And you know, we don't need to have that extra gossip or hurting people's feelings in the mix. Now, do I gossip? Oh, yeah. I partake in the goss. But usually it's with the trusted work bestie and, you know.
What kind of goss?
Oh, like, I'm trying to think of.
HR goss.
Yeah, like HR goss, like, you know, so-and-so has to be let go on Friday because she stole $30,000 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
it's going to be $37,000 by Friday.
I know, right? You got to wait till Friday. Yeah.
You know, but like something like that.
Got it.
Not as much as like, she's on Ozempic. I'm just thinking, I'm thinking like housewives right now.
That is,
you know what I mean?
Yes. That's, I think, because there's the two harmful types of gossip I see are personal gossip and professional gossip.
Mm-hmm,
and the personal gossip, I think you've hit one on the head that I think, you know, with the Ozempic and Wegovy is when people have lost weight and people, how
did they do that?
Well, it's not, you know, it's
nobody's business.
It's absolutely none of their business. And absolutely things like, oh, did they get a boob job? What you know, what do you think? How do they afford this? And so those, did you see what kind of, you know, car they had? So some of that, or people's relationships, statuses and things like that. And It is. It's harmful because especially when you have things about people's like personal appearance and things that matter, and everyone else is talking about it, and it just creates, just unprofessional atmospheres. But the flip is the professional aspect, which is when people are like, this person is the absolute worst, and it's the things that happen, but nobody ever has a direct conversation with that individual, and so they're not having that opportunity to perform.
Yeah.
And so it's like the unsaid secret, or a manager that's nobody ever does anything about it, and so it just creates these environments, and everyone's talking, but nobody's doing. The say-do ratio, per Leigh's amazing phrase that she uses sometimes, is when nobody's doing anything about it. What do you think, Leigh?
I always think, why does this happen? Right? Because I have been a part of so many, and I've witnessed so many toxic work environments, fortunately and unfortunately. And I always, reflect on, God, why is this happening? And, for me, I believe it primarily happens when there's a lack of effective communications in an organization, when there's zero focus on it, right? When there's zero focus on transparency of communications, because that's when you really get the weaponization of gossip, and you get information hoarding, for job security, right? Because there's not that flow down from the top of information, And so that's what I've always seen, as a consistent theme, is when an organization puts zero focus or very little focus on communications. There's no one that owns communications. There's not consistent communications. People are always going to fill in the lack of information with something negative, a negative assumption. And so then people start hoarding information. Information is power in organizations like that. And gossip is absolutely used as a weapon. And I hate that toxic shit.
Yeah. And you know what is the worst is when you have those executives that are a part of the gossip train, right?
Or they're the worst.
Yeah. They're the worst. They're the worst part of it. And so that's very difficult to deal with as an HR professional, because that's a position of power that everyone, looks as above them, and they're one of the worst of being, the gossiper,
You mean that like a leader that sees someone, they're like, they look like shit.
Oh,
they
yeah.
look. Leigh's done somebody else, but you look. They look tired. What's wrong with them? Are they an alcoholic? Making these assumptions and creating these environments, as opposed to saying, because one of the things, a bit more of a serious topic, is in the workplace, that might be people's real only social interaction, whether in person, whether you're remote. And so people can often choose outside of work to really isolate themselves. But at times you may have to have those interactions. And so having conversations with people, that there have been unfortunate situations, and they said people at work said they noticed something was wrong and they felt so badly because they never said anything to that person, or they thought, I feel so badly, I just thought like they were going through some shit and we all talked about it, but like no one wanted to say anything to make it awkward for them. And so having some of those tools, like if you look at Are You Okay Day, it's says you/okay. We'd done a video on it a couple of years ago. They have tools on there. It's out of Australia, but they have tools on talking about these things at the workplace productively. And so just taking that pause, that if you see something, again, like we're all humans. You see someone go kind of, one day, flat chest comes in with Dolly Parton. You're like, oh my goodness. Okay, fair enough. Like, I get you. We are human. Like we are not perfect, and we have all had our lessons. And I'm sure there's certainly times in my career, especially in the earlier side, where I was like a fucking idiot. But taking that step, and when you're in HR, talking to organizations about that, and just, if you feel like there's a situation people are talking about something, check in on that employee, because there sometimes could be something bigger going on, and you could really have a positive impact on their life by proactively doing it from a place of support, rather than it being your entertainment, which a lot of people fall prey
to, or
yes,
whatever.
Thank you. I couldn't think of that word.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome advice. And Jamie, I'm kind of reflecting on what you shared about sometimes the C-suite or top leadership being the worst. And of course, people are looking up and they are seeing that behavior, and they know that they can act like that. They are getting permission to be the same way, right? And so, those top leaders are modeling this, very negative, gross behavior, and everyone else is just following suit. And now you have this incredibly toxic, politically heavy workplace, that's just gross really to be a part of, at least for the majority of people probably. But I was reflecting on, a toxic leader that I've had that would always gossip about everybody to you. Right. And so, you'd be on the one-on-one with her and she's just, talking shit about everybody. And every time I was on a call with her, I'm thinking, God, if she's talking about everybody, she's talking about me. Right. And it's just like, God, how gross is that? Yeah. Like how unprofessional, how disgusting, how toxic, how pathetic really to be so little to where, especially in that position, oh my gosh, you're just like, F that person and that person sucks and fire that guy and do this and all that. Just wow, just like hot goss, just like crazy at that level, Just be mindful, of course, especially in HR and in leadership positions, to model the positive way to be the right way, air quotes, to be in the workplace, which is treating others with dignity and respect as much as possible. You know what I mean? Treating others how you want to be treated.
I love how you're saying HR, because again, with HR Besties, a lot of what we try to do is point out things and give things you can think about. And so especially as you have those managers coming up, and maybe you have teams where, a group of people, an individual contributor is now managing their peers, is now managing the people that they used to be that team of. And that happens. That's a great thing because that's internal mobility. But what that person needs is that training and those tools. And some of it is those reminders. And what HR can do is like scenario planning. Okay, what are you going to do if you were on a team and there's someone that really bugged you on the team, because people's human instinct is going to be to talk shit about that person. And that's going to be natural. Or like, how are you going to manage someone that's your friend that's not, doing well? Or how are you going to make sure that you're having those communications in that way and balance friendship and management and the gossip? And that's what can happen is when you have leaders that are friends with some people on the team and not others. And so giving some of that coaching and also telling managers, one thing I say for in-person environments is to managers, think about visually the signs you're sending to your team. And are you stopping by some people's cubes, some people's offices, and then moving by everybody else? And, you don't need to have a stopwatch of, now, this is my speed dating time with everyone. But just think about if there's people that you never go up and talk to and have one-on-one conversations, how that probably feels to that person. And just reminding them of like checking in with that individual and showing people a little bit of love equally.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Yeah. I worked at a place where the executives were incredibly bad about gossiping, and I sat on the C-suite floor, and I would be scared to be sick or to have my children, to have my children be sick or have to go out for a doctor's appointment, because that was the worst, was when someone wasn't there, whether it was, a planned vacation, a doctor's appointment, or an illness, you would get talked about. And that was one of the worst toxic environments I ever worked in. But like, I would be physically ill, like from, let's say, the stomach bug, and then the worry and the anxiety on top of that I was being talked about for being ill and I was missing work. And it's just like being a toxic workplace survivor. It's just so frustrating that we can't be grown adults in the workplace. And it's not just women. It's men too. Men are just as guilty, but not have this catty bullshit of gossip in the workplace.
One thing you said was the C-suite floor. And I'm curious your all's thoughts, because the C-suite probably could be a corporate cringe on its own, in my mind, because when you have leaders and you have this isolation and keeping all of these top leaders away from their teams, I'm curious what you all think about that and how that lends to gossip in the workplace if you have, all the executives together, but they're not present as much, with their teams or function.
Yeah. So I hate the idea of having like an executive floor.
Yeah. Like when you said that, I was like, huh.
I will say in this particular case, it made sense because the clinic was downstairs. So upstairs were the offices.
Yeah.
That's where the executive presence sat. And
well done.
No, there you go.
That's a lot of gravitas to bring that up, Jamie.
So it made sense. But I've even the last company I was at, same thing. It was a 9-story building. and the 9th floor was for the executives. So yeah, I mean, in several places it's been like that. All the executives sit on the same floor together, and it's like, they're up in their high offices with all glass windows that overlook the mountains, or whatever. So
yeah, and that's where the gym is, and that's where the private bathroom is.
And I think's kind of gross. So, and I did work for a company straight out of college, it's a large farm brand, great company. They had their executives in their respective departments. So like the CFO was with all of accounting and finance, and the head of human resources was with all of human resources. And that's kind of how I feel like it evens it out better, right? So now you're seeing your executive for your department, and you see them daily. They know you on a personal basis, as opposed to some 108th floor, like untouchable. You can't get up there unless you have the key fob. And
oh my God, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, which makes some sense. But
yes.
But I also like having teams next to each other across. Like in legal, take legal, KFC. We sit next to marketing because they bring their products by. Again, my stretch pants. Oh, you want to try this new chicken product? Sure do. Absolutely. But it is or the God. There's the gossip about the offices. Who gets what office?
Oh my God, yes.
Some people will get, especially the new open concepts, which it's really.
Yeah. What I'd love to share on gossip is that if people are gossiping about you, it's not a you issue, it's a them issue. You know what I mean? And so as much as you can, try not to personalize that, and don't let that change you. Right. So I've been backstabbed so many times, and I've had people be so political. It's called jealousy, and try to throw me under the bus, literally throw me under the bus.
Like Mean Girls.
Yeah. Hardcore Mean Girls in the workplace. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
Regina George Soapy over here.
But, I've had people just be really, really cruel to me in the workplace, which is unfortunate. But you know what? I have not allowed that to change me. I'm always going to be kind. And so that's really been my focus as much as I can be. I'm still going to defend myself. I'm still going to do all that I can. Right. But, I really do focus on treating others how I want to be treated. And I don't go to that dark side. And so that would be my message really to others, is that try not to participate. It's really easy to get wrapped into that. It's really easy to go to that dark side. It's easy to be mean. You know what I mean? But it sure hell doesn't feel good and doesn't solve anything. And so again, just remember that it's a them problem. It's their insecurities. It's their jealousy. It's their issues. And it's not a you problem. So as much as you can, do not let that change you. You know what I mean? So I've seen it change people, and God, it breaks my heart, but stay strong and be that great person that you are.
Well, and just like middle and high school, there may be people that you feel like are popular, or like you should be close with, because find your people. Find your people, find your people, find your people. And those people that are your people that are there for you. And it can be hard to figure that out, and you may get burned a bit, but finding the people that are there and support you and want you to succeed, and at that point, not caring. And if you do find people that are talking badly about you, again, sometimes if you're a manager, we talked about this in season 1, like when I've had managers that found their employees talking shit about them, and some of it was nasty personal things. But I'd said, it is going to be natural for people to talk shit about the boss a little bit, because that's camaraderie. Like, boss. But if you talk and say, like, I saw these things, these are hurtful, like, in no matter, if you call people on that and say, I'm trying to come to work and be professional, and it felt really hurtful to see that. And people do sometimes need to know that. Your outcome doesn't need to be that person's your friend, but addressing that and standing up for yourself, and then moving on to your people.
Yeah. It's so wild. It's the same thing on social. And I think we've talked about this personally offline. Like when you see people saying negative things about you, or the negative comments, or same thing in the workplace, you hear people talking shit about you or whatever. What's so funny is that I know that their intention is to hurt me so that they can feel better. But what's so crazy is instantly I feel so sorry for them. Right? Like that, the opposite is actually happening. Yeah. I'm thinking, oh my God, who hurt you? oh my God, I'm so sorry that you're in this place, like emotionally, to where, you're trying to hurt me or somebody else so you can try and get a quick high. Like I start getting all psychological about it, but I actually just feel really, really sorry for those people. You know what I mean? And it's like, God, how can I help you? Oh my gosh, I feel so bad, right? Like instantly I'm like, oh my gosh.
Like, who raised you? Do you need a hug?
Do you need a hug?
But
Literally.
It's a helpful reminder. And when your people go through those things at work or in life, like we'll have this sometimes, and I'll take, God, a screenshot of a comment that's just mean and savage, either about looks or about content. Like, no one cares. Well, you did watch it and comment, so
you cared a little bit.
Evidence says you do, but whatever. And also, but like I will send screenshots sometimes in our group chat, and I'm like, and it is. I feel hurt. I feel sad, and it knocks me down. But what lifts me up even higher is Jamie and Leigh will say like, fuck him, fuck that guy, or
jealousy's a bitch.
but also like look at then like, or like they'll go and send like a screenshot of a positive comment and be like, this is what people actually, the people that matter really think. So don't stop doing, like the lead said this the other day of like something I was really, really not in a great place about something there, and he's like, do not let this like drag you down when other good things are happening, and it's so being that person for others. So it's not just not partaking, but when you see that happening for your people or people you don't know that haven't found their people yet, be that person to the workplace and just remind people when they're going through their shit that it's okay and they're a very capable individual.
Excellent note to end the hot topic on right there. Thank you, Ashley, for that. All right. So because we do have a hard stop, let's be efficient here and go into our questions and comments. Do we have any questions or comments?
I have a comment.
Oh, let's hear it.
Tantric success.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. So we were talking about things one day, and like people want like quick success or quick wins, things like that. And Leigh said, but it really does feel good over time to look back and see that you've put a lot of effort into something that you've built. And I said, yes, tantric success. And it literally came. And
that's what she said.
That's what she said. That's what she said. And with the so usually it's referred to in another thing of tantric sex. Yeah, taking a long time. Yep. Taking a long time. Sting, which like I guess that's I mean I guess
I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
I got a busy schedule. Let's do this.
Let's go.
In and out.
Literally.
But from the professional context, because we are very professional at HR
professional.
Besties.
You're not
but
HR.
I was like, tantric success. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I really like this idea of building up over time and seeing this success at the end. Well, I looked it up, and I'm not the first person to think about that. Unfortunately, I bought the domain. TantricSuccess.com.
Coming soon.
Well, coming in a long time.
That's right. Coming in a long time.
Blue ball success.
Oh my God.
But it's this. But so some of this is this idea of like you get fed this idea and an instantaneous culture and like this reply first type of thing. Psychologically, it can really feel good. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, I haven't hit the point. Stop and think about everything you've done and think about yourself. 5, 10. 20, 30, 40 years at the beginning of your career and what you have built and these lessons and everything that has turned you into the individual you are. And so I think relishing the things that you're doing and spending your time on and finding success over time. So I don't know what we're going to do with this. But tantricsuccess.com is
tantrically.
So tantricsuccess.org. Go ahead and grab that. Or
coming in a long time.
So that's it.
Coming never.
Oh gosh, yeah, we do need to suss that out, don't we?
Yeah.
There's something there. I can feel it.
There's an e-course on that.
Yeah, that is it. That's going to be our new.
Exactly.
By the time you're listening to this, we'll have it fleshed out.
Exactly.
And, it'll have a very strong executive presence on that site.
Exactly.
Tantric success is really our tagline here. No more business and bullshit, but tantric success.
There you go. You go. I like it.
I have a quick question. And this is a weird one now to follow up with tantric success, but fuck it. What was y'all's favorite board game when you were like younger?
Favorite board game? Candyland. Because it's so pretty. Remember the board and then like the candy cane kingdom.
Going on the slide.
Stunning.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say Yahtzee.
My son loves Yahtzee.
Yeah, I like Yahtzee. We still, I think, at my parents' house have the board. And it had like a green felt, and I like still there's the scratches on it from when I was a kid. And I remember like, my brother was like, yeah, you scratched the felt, and so we still had. Now I love that scratch, and so
of course,
over time I've come to appreciate that. But I'm a big Yahtzee person. So that'd be fun to play.
I like that actually. Mall Madness. Matter of fact,
oh my god.
Matter of fact, I actually recently bid on eBay. I don't do much money.
You said bid. Did you win?
It's still going. So when this airs, hopefully no one has.
I know exactly. I'm like, don't tell people about it.
But it's the 1989 Mall Madness.
Oh my God.
I had it probably early 90s when I got it for Christmas, and it was my most favorite game. And I would force my mom or my dad to play with me. But yeah, that game is the absolute like
mall. Like you go.
I want to get a Mall Madness tattoo. And no, I'm serious, like obsessed. And like,
really? I never played it.
Do you have tattoos?
Oh, I have a bunch of tattoos. But there's one part, like when it's starting to shut off, because it talks.
What does it say? Like mall is closing.
Yes.
Oh
actually,
my gosh.
Closed. And then like it'll be like bing, bing, bing. There is a sale at the fashion boutique and at the kitchen store. But it would go. So when it was shutting off, it would go, ooh, sorry, long line. Try again later. And so like I will randomly just say, try again later. And no one knows what I'm talking about.
No, I wouldn't. Now I'll know. I'll probably forget.
But hopefully I win it.
We'll play that.
And I will bring it next time for season 3.
Walden books.
Oh my God. It was so much fun.
Sbarro.
You had credit cards. Think about like little Jamie playing with plastic credit cards.
I would have loved little Jamie.
I've never played that game, so you have to bring it.
It's a good
You
game.
have to win it. You pay anything for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's worth it.
Yeah.
Priceless.
It's
now
priceless.
don't tell my husband.
I know, right? Yeah.
He will not be happy, but
spend
it's an
anything
investment
and do it.
in happiness.
It is an investment in happiness. You know what I mean? That's vintage right there.
Yes.
That's some good stuff, you know? All right. Not a question, but a comment, right? And this is more maybe like a meditative affirmation that you all could repeat, right? But to the haters in the workplace, fuck you. I just want you to know that you didn't change me. I am still a badass bitch. And it's a reflection of you and how gross and pathetic and disgusting you are that you treated me like shit. I didn't deserve that. You didn't value me. And that's why I no longer work there. And you're bored as hell during your workday. Fuck you.
Preacher, preach on.
Thank you.
God, I am ready.
Amen.
I am.
Right?
Amen.
Yeah.
Right. So just remember that it's not you. It's
I'm
them.
going to go back. I'm going to hit the
Fuck
15-second
that bitch.
rewind multiple
Exactly.
times and listen
Exactly.
to that. Just, okay,
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
repeat that back. Maybe 30
and
seconds.
you didn't see, obviously, for those that are listening, you did not see Ashley and I like having
Close
like
eyes.
come apart, like
Yeah.
praising
Namaste.
Jesus,
They were
raising the roof.
namaste.
Yeah.
They were namaste.
I'll
And I
namaste
appreciate
with that
that.
thought very much.
Exactly. So just repeat that like before your work day.
Yeah.
And during and after.
And during and after. And oh my God, what's wrong with people?
So much.
Oh, well, gosh, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of HR Besties. We love that you join our staff meeting and we cannot wait for the next one. See you soon, besties.